Let's go to the crypto charts here. Let's get right into Bitcoin, see what we got. So Bitcoin, guys, you can see clearly continues to run into major resistance. The 25,300 level continues to be the level that I have on the chart that is a sticking point for Bitcoin. All right, the reason it is, number one, you have a beautiful parallel channel right here. Look at the trend line, how it kind of connects through these highs. And then look at how many times we've pierced this line and haven't gotten through. In addition, the highest pivot, this is the highest pivot since the June collapse, right? Since this collapse over here, the highest pivot was at 25,000, approximately 300. So it makes sense that that's going to be a sticking point in the near term for resistance in Bitcoin. Now, again, am I short Bitcoin? The answer is no. In fact, in verified investing crypto, we still have a long on Bitcoin, but I am kind of itching to move out of it and potentially short it. Now, we do have... Let's go to the crypto charts here. Let's get right into Bitcoin, see what we got. So Bitcoin, guys, you can see clearly continues to run into major resistance. The 25,300 level continues to be the level that I have on the chart that is a sticking point for Bitcoin. All right, the reason it is, number one, you have a beautiful parallel channel right here. Look at the trend line, how it kind of connects through these highs. And then look at how many times we've pierced this line and haven't gotten through. In addition, the highest pivot, this is the highest pivot since the June collapse, right? Since this collapse over here, the highest pivot was at 25,000, approximately 300. So it makes sense that that's going to be a sticking point in the near term for resistance in Bitcoin. Now, again, am I short Bitcoin? The answer is no. In fact, in verified investing crypto, we still have a long on Bitcoin, but I am kind of itching to move out of it and potentially short it. Now, we do have other short signals out there. Over the weekend, I pulled the trigger on an Avalanche short. So if we take a look at Avalanche here, Avalanche had a beautiful kind of move up on the daily, collapse to support, move back up, and then you're basically right into this resistance. So for me, we had already made about 16% on this short prior, and we covered it. Now it had gone right back up to where we shorted it before into resistance. I said, you know what? Let's try a good old-fashioned rinse and repeat. And the idea there is that it's double top, resistance, and also the Bitcoin chart is at resistance. So what I'm doing here, folks, is I'm using Bitcoin as a proxy. All right, so if Bitcoin breaks above that, then that would be a bullish thing for other cryptocurrencies. As long as Bitcoin doesn't break above this area that I've just shown, then in general, that's a negative for other cryptocurrency. Let's go to Ethereum here, see what Ethereum has in store for us. Now, Ethereum continues to have kind of the same channel lines up here. There's a lot of resistance. The positive on Ethereum, you could make a case that it's making bullish consolidation. It's not the prettiest, right? By no means is it the prettiest bullish consolidation, but it would be classified loosely as bullish consolidation. Now, what does that mean? Well, it could mean we have one more move up to maybe around $1,785 before we hit major resistance. All right, so again, keep an eye out for that. That is a possibility on ETH that you could have one more move up. What would change my mind? See this upsloping trend line that we got below briefly and tag this support. If we start trading back below that, that would negate the bullish pattern, and you'd have to start expecting a bigger move back to the 1,300 range on that chart. I want to look at the SPY chart here. See what we got going on here. And again, bullish consolidation right there. Again, on the S&P 500. Now, this is prior to what we're seeing today. We are seeing the spiders dropping pretty sharply. I'm not looking to play this bullish consolidation. Instead, I'm waiting patiently for a retrace to what I call the scene of the crime. What is the scene of the crime? Let's do some education right here. The scene of the crime is basically when you have a major breakout of a trend line and you retrace to that scene, essentially, of the breakout crime. All right, so if we zoom out on this chart on the spiders, you have a pivot high from the all-time high in the S&P, pivot high, pivot high, pivot high, pivot high, and you broke out right here above the blue line. So if we get back to that blue line, there's a swing trade opportunity, not a long-term. I'm not a long-term bull on the S&P, but a swing trade long, absolutely right there. That's at around 393 on the SPY, which is the tracking ETF for the S&P. Gas, because natural gas continues to befuddle even me. And what this shows you, folks, is that even I am not without, uncertainty. Like everyone, and I want to be clear on this. And thank you there on that CML leukemia story. I appreciate that. But basically, what we're seeing here, look at the rollover in natural gas again this morning. We're seeing more forced selling. And what I want to tell you guys about this is that natural gas to me is a no-brainer on a swing basis, that it will recover, it will have a big bounce, but it tells you also that a chart can still fail. And this chart continues to fail at key support lines. And so what this means is there's nothing that's going to be perfect out there. You can't be 100% trader. You never will be. All right. The market is the market. All you can do is get probabilities as high as you can. For me, that's 70 to 80%. 70 to 80% success rate. That's the best I've been able to ever achieve in the live day trading room. Granted, we're in the 90% range, but that's day trading. It's much shorter time frame. We're just jumping in, we're jumping out. But that's what I want to make clear to you guys, is that you really have to understand that you're never going to achieve perfection. If anyone ever did, then you're off and retiring, and you're just off on your yacht living in the Mediterranean, whatever you are. But the point is, the markets keep you on your toes. And Lance saying, Gareth really chased natural gas. No, I didn't chase it. My entry, literally, if we get a 15% bounce, which is about 15 cents on natural gas, I'm break even. But the point is that I thought it would bounce already, right? So I think that's the key, is that, again, this is why I average in. I continue to kind of accumulate slowly, so it gives us that opportunity to make sure that we're close to the levels. But there's no doubt that I would have expected a bounce on it already, and it hasn't happened. So I want to look at gold here. The gold chart here, we are seeing it trying to hold support right here. I still think there's one more move down on gold here, down to this level here around 1800, before it becomes a full-fledged bull market. So again, we'll watch that to see, and we'll go from there. Okay. All right. So that's one of the things to kind of keep an eye on here. Let me look at CSX real quick. So CSX, guys, the chart is mediocre at best on the daily chart. I'm not really seeing much. I see this trend line, which is what you want it to break. If you want to get a breakout, you have to get above 3270. You get above 3270, it's off to the races higher. All right, then you're talking about 34 to 35 bucks as a next target. The one thing you don't want it to do, right? Check out this. Look at this trend line here. So if we take this pivot low and connect it to this pivot low, basically what you have forming, and it makes sense, right? Look at the tight range that it's been in all over here. So it's basically in what we would refer to as a wedge pattern. And a wedge pattern, again, this is a slightly bullish wedge because you have a bullish consolidation inside bar, but it's not super bullish. Like, I wouldn't rank this as a high percentage trading opportunity. Essentially, it's not something that I would be taking. But if you are in it, you want to see, if you're long this, you want to see a breakout above 3270. And what you don't want to see, where you would keep your stop, is any daily close below 30 and a quarter. So it basically gives you a range there of what to look for on the chart. Let's go to the silver chart real quick, and we'll go from there. So the silver chart, guys, it did hit support. I did pick up a little SLV with my trading group at Verified Investing Alerts, which is at inthemoneystocks.com. And again, we are in the money slightly on that. I added right down in this lower range right here. And again, I will continue to add. There's a lot of support here on silver at all of these lower levels. I think the most downside you probably would get would be around $20.80, somewhere in that vicinity. But I actually do like silver now. Silver is now pulled back into a range where it actually makes more sense for me. Okay, we'll do one or two more questions. Let's talk about Tesla today. So Tesla has remained resilient. It was up on Friday. I think pre-market it is falling. Let me just double check. Yep, it is down pre-market at 205.70. But the most important thing on the daily chart is that it's into major resistance here and here. So could it go up to 223? Yes. But between these two levels, I expect a big pullback back to about $140. So be very careful if you're long Tesla here. This is not something that you want to. Remember, the stock has rallied 100% off of the lows. So you shouldn't, for me, I never buy something that's even up 5% off the lows. I just don't want it. I'm not going to chase it. That's the key. But the discipline in trading, the mental mindset of a trader is what makes me a legitimate, successful trader. If you have no discipline and you're buying things after they've rallied 100%, aka Bitcoin at 65,000 or 69,000, you will ultimately lose money. All right, you'll lose everything. It's just the nature of the beast.